Although it was Donald Trump hosting Vladimir Putin in Alaska, it was the Russian president who was given the first word at the joint press conference. He said he welcomed Donald Trump like a neighbor, clearly positioning himself in charge of the negotiations. Putin then went on to calling Ukraine, quote, a brotherly nation, 3.5 years into his all-out war against Ukraine.
Чтобы украинская урегулированная сила устойчивый и долгосрочный характер, должны быть устранены все первопричины кризиса.
Although Trump was unclear about the talks, especially in terms of a possible ceasefire, he said the meeting was, quote, extremely productive, unquote, despite what appears to be no deal.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. That was very profound, and I will say that I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones.
The US president then said he will call up NATO allies and Volodymyr Zelensky, despite the word ceasefire nowhere to be heard after the Alaska meeting.
Thank you so much.
Renewed Russian missile and drone attacks have killed at least 7 civilians and injured 17 across Ukraine, ahead of a high-stakes peace summit between the president of the US and Russia. Ukraine's Air Force said on Friday that Russia launched nearly 100 drones and missiles overnight, with air defenses intercepting 63 of those drones. 4 people were killed in the Kharkiv region, 2 in Donetsk and 1 in Kherson. 17 people were wounded nationwide, including a child, with widespread damage reported to homes, a school and other civilian infrastructure. After the attacks, sources from the Ukrainian army told Ukrainian media that their special operation forces hit Russia's Syzran oil refinery and command post in occupied Donetsk Oblast. These latest strikes cast a shadow over the upcoming peace summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. One person has been killed and another injured in a shooting in central Sweden on Friday, which police believe is linked to gang violence. The attack happened in a car park outside a mosque in the city of Örebro shortly after Friday prayers. A 25-year-old man was killed and another man in his 20s was wounded. Authorities have said that at least one suspect was seen fleeing the scene. The incident comes amid Sweden's long-running struggle with gang-related crime.
The EU, the United Kingdom and the United Nations, alongside Israeli rights groups, on Thursday slammed an Israeli government plan to greenlight the construction of thousands of Israeli homes in a contentious area of the occupied West Bank. The swift condemnation came after Israeli far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich unveiled the plans to build the homes, saying it would bury the idea of a Palestinian state. A statement from the EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas called on Israel to halt the settlement construction. According to the statement, the decision to advance the E1 settlement plan further undermines the two-state solution while being a breach of international law. The so-called E1 project between Jerusalem and Ma'ale Adumim settlement has been frozen for decades amid fierce international opposition. It is feared that building there would effectively cut off the West Bank from occupied East Jerusalem. Settlements form one of the most contentious issues between Israel and the Palestinians.
Devastating flash floods from intense monsoon rains have killed at least 280 people across northwestern Pakistan and northern India. In Pakistan's northwest, a state of emergency was declared in the hard-hit Boner district, while a relief helicopter crashed on Friday, killing 5. Rescue efforts continued as 1,300 tourists who were trapped by landslides in the Mansehra district were evacuated. Across the border in Indian-administrated Kashmir, a cloudburst devastated a remote Hindu pilgrimage site. There, at least 60 people were killed and 80 remain missing after floodwaters swept through the area. The annual pilgrimage has now been suspended by authorities. Officials are blaming the disasters on cloudbursts, sudden and intense downpours that experts say are becoming more severe due to climate change.